And yet again, by iskus, utterance is given unto you. Revelation, wisdom, insight begin to flow. And now you are praying, you are beginning to feel certain, your hands begin to shake. Your eyes are open to see. It's the operations of iskus. Now it's like electricity. Things begin to connect together. But after a while, as you begin to perceive those things, and it looks as though you now see like a witch in your family. At that point, the power now change again. It moved to Kratos. And now as you see it, anger enters you. And you say, I bind you. And at that time, now it's no longer iskus. You are now releasing. And you begin to contend with that witch by Kratos. But the Holy Ghost still remains the same. And mind you, you advance in that level in power still by the agency of the Holy Ghost. Because power in itself, without the Holy Ghost, will never advance. Are you getting my point now? So a believer that is not wise, we think that just because he has power, he will neglect the Holy Ghost. And after 5 years, he has exhausted the possibility that lies within his own realm of power. And somebody will come with a superior power and kill him. And that's why you can see people that walk in all kinds of tremendous powers and operation. Later on, something come and kill them. And that thing that came and killed them was, it exercised another level of power. Because at that point of the contention in Kratos, they are supposed to survive. How by the agency of the Holy Ghost they should be able to excel. So Jesus Christ, although he walked in power, he has so much proximity with the Spirit. So he will tell you, I can but of my own do nothing. As I see my Father do, so I do. And so somehow he's led by the Holy Ghost at all times. So anytime you want to go and pray, he's not doing it because he wants to do it, but there is an enablement of the Holy Ghost. So when it comes to the agency of the Spirit, it's no longer about journey in power as it were. It's about helping your infirmity, because the Holy Ghost knows that there is a treasure in earthen vessel. So when the Holy Ghost begins to allow you to pray, in as much as he excels you in power, he knows that the level of the current you pass through a wire is determined by the strength of the wire itself. Because there's a level that you pass that the wire will burn. So the Holy Ghost will be that supporting system to ensure that you become so strong enough to be able to contain it. If not, it will not take a while. You will still burn out. I know this is power night. We are going to pray for power. Power will come. But I'm trying to let you understand the way men maintain themselves in this. I have seen men walk in tremendous power. Many of them are backslidden, although they walked in power. What happened? So before you give men power, there are laws that governs the realm of operation. And that is why even if you go to a Babalawo place, if he's not giving you power, you take the day you do this, that day, this one way, they will tell you the protocol and the rules for engagement. And in this kingdom, the rules for engagement of the power that God will ever give you is to understand that you are under the confines of the Holy Ghost. And you with the Holy Ghost, there is not going to be a limit to which you can go. And having had this understanding, now you know that by the time the power advanced to Kratos, God still route you back again to exousia. Because exousia is supposed to be a power of choice. And now you have been able to journey through the realms of power, and you understand its dynamic is in operation. And now you can operate it by choice. You see the error now? Because as men begin to advance, you did 100 days dry fasting, you did all kinds of things, and you challenge all kinds of operations. You went the extra mile, and now you broke through diverse realms in power. That's good. And now you came to a point where you have exousia, and now you can operate it at choice. But how many of us, if we have the power to turn all of us here to chicken or to goat, you wouldn't have turned me to goat by now? What's Apostle Philip saying here? I'm tired. You just turned me to a goat. I'll do man. Later in the morning you turn me back and say, well, I'll go back to Lafia. Why? Because the challenge is this: as God advances you to a point where he gives you all his possibility, you have that chance to wake up one day and say, I want to be like the Most High. I want to challenge the Most High. Because everyone that thinks that God is enough, a being for him to stand and speak to him, is a man that God has excelled. Do you know that nobody has a right to stand and talk to you like this except the person you draw so close? Do you realize that? And that is why over familiarity provokes familiar spirit. When people come close to you, they begin to dishonor you the more. Why? Because you have given them so much exousia, and now they have the choice to do as they please. But wise men understand that just because God shared a dimension with them doesn't mean he has exhausted his possibility. The devil thought that he knew all of God. He thought he has understood everything, and he thought God does not have an option again. So God, divide this kingdom. Let's run a parallel government together. I did not even do anything. He allowed Michael. And Michael excelled in another strength. Because what you don't know is that the dimensions that God locked up in some of these angelic beings, even them themselves, they are discovering themselves daily. So angels excel in strength. So in the day God wants them to do greater things, they excel. So that day, Michael became more anointed. Because Lucifer was the anointed cherub that covered it. God made him so. You are the one that covered it, and I have said this so. And he looked upon heaven. He looked around. No one is like him. And he felt it's too important. And I said, well, I think the only one that is like me now is you. Okay, I want to sit there. What he did not know, that the same person that set him to be like that can set another one to be like that. There was nothing special about any one of them. Till now, I know you would think there is something special about the cherubim. There is nothing special. Because they look upon you and they wonder, who is man that thou art mindful of him? Because what makes you think you are not special is because you have not excelled in strength. Because the day you excel in strength, they will be at your beck and call. Because in the days God wants to war, Michael excelled in strength. Gabriel come, and the priest heard him bow. Another being that excelled came. And let me tell you, if God wanted Gabriel, I know they will tell you yes, because Michael is an angel of war, Gabriel is an angel of this. You think Gabriel doesn't have power? Who struck Zachariah? Is that one power? Is that one messenger? Have you ever seen an angel that is powerless before? You don't know what they're saying. They excel in strength. And in the days of war, he just realized that he was nothing. And that is how the thing works. The Holy Ghost is there to help us to excel and come to a point where we can consolidate. Because this power, you will need it more in the days of adversity. So don't do quick in the display. Because many of you, as the Lord empower you now, wait first. A day is going to come when you will need it. All the sons of Ben Elohim, Babylon, they just also continue to excel. And in the day they pushed them into the fire, suddenly they saw a dimension they never knew about themselves. That it's possible for God to excel a mortal man and his body will not burn. They didn't know that one. If they have known it, they will speak with pride and say, put us in the fire, we will not burn. You don't know who we are. You don't know who we are. But it was in fear and trembling. O King, let it be known to you. Now, well, we know the God we serve. If he chooses to deliver us, so be it. If he doesn't, we are willing to perish. At that moment, that was a prayer. And suddenly they excel in strength. And they didn't know, as they were pushing them inside, suddenly the fourth man appeared. That's how it works. Because a day is going to come when power will jam power. And if all what you know is power, you see, do you know Babalawo killed Babalawo? Do you realize that? Because in the days they fight together, they beckon upon diverse levels of power. So when Moses went to Pharaoh, let my people go. So you are speaking English. Speak the language of the immortals. He spoke the language of mortal men so many times. The king did not understand. Because kings of that time, they can eat human flesh. They don't care. So speak a language that resonates within their ecosystem. And it was only when he began to display power that the king was interested. That means that there are places we are going to go that we cannot say anything. I don't know about you, but how many of you have been to your village and you cannot sleep? In that place, it's not about whether you are a preacher. I don't know whether you know some revelation. At that place is survival. And that survival is upon the strength of an energy of power. I came from one of the terrible villages in Nasarawa State. And in our village, they used to warn you never to go there, because when you go there, you come back, you are sick. And you can say, my head, and die the next day. Because it's only in our village that you can see bush babies walking in the afternoon. It's only there that you can see a fly moving, and the fly will come and talk to you and say, you will die, and he will move and go. It's only there that you will see a lizard and he will talk to you. Why? Because these people have been skilled in wizardry. They have been skilled because, as they excel in witches and wizards, they advance them and they begin to take different level of form. They choose the form they want to portray. In fact, you'll be afraid to eat food there, because when you eat, it's possible that that's your last supper. You are afraid to shake hands with people, because when you shake hands, so I went to campus. I caught fire. When I caught fire, my hands was burning. When I do like this, people fall. I said, okay, that village, and my mother said I should not go. Just came back home. Say, Mom, I want to go to the village. Say, my son, don't go. I said, what do you mean? You know who I am now? Power now is speaking. Do you understand? I just went there. When I went, the first thing I did was to stand upon the grave of my grandfather and the grave of the grandmother. I banish you, you spirit of unrest ancestors. Rest. I challenge this foundation. I know when you want to make those utterances, God will inspire you with all kinds of vocabularies. I traveled into this generation. I was strong in the daytime, they were strong in the night. I didn't know that there are times of war. I should not awake it before then. Don't start fighting if you don't know how to fight, because the fight may stay for so long. Many of you, somebody is your friend, you started fighting. Now till now, you are looking for how you can stop the fight. I went to this place. Okay, this is where they used to do meeting. Okay, this is the tree they say blood used to come out. I move around. Pa. Hiya. And I decided to go to one of the shrines. As I went there, kabakai. I hear pa. So okay, I think I've entered the den now. The den. What? I turned. As I was holding, I was praying like, pa, we don't pray here. I've a witch slap you before. You prefer that of Nigerian army. And I realized I had power, but my power have not excelled. Jesus said, this kind goeth not except by prayer and fasting. Have they not been praying and fasting before? But there are certain kinds that will come that you will need to excel in strength. And that's the reason why I don't care whether you're a man of God here. I don't even care whether you have function in power. I'm just trying to let you know days of survival will still come again. Because the devil has studied for so long. But he will send some assassins. He will send some strategically positioned. The Bible says no weapon formed against you. Because the devil don't just send any kind of weapon. There are people that they send any kind. But there are some that they take out time to form. The devil can take 10 years to form the weapon, so that one time he strike, you are gone. Because many ministers, they don't just go just like that. It took years of the formation of the weapon. So what I'm trying to let you understand this night is the need for power, but not the one you know. Because many of you, your level, your half-life is what you are about to expire in it now, in this campus. Because part of the life God has given to you to live, you don't know how to sustain it. Because many of you thought you are anointed until you leave Food Mina. Many of you thought you are spiritual until you leave this campus. You now realize there is a weapon, desire to cut you. So you ask your alumnus, ask your mate, how many are still surviving? It was because a weapon was formed and fashioned against them. Although sometimes they were the most powerful people on campus. So what was the problem here? This kind goeth not, but by prayer and fasting. The apostles were very anointed before they backslided. That's what I want you to understand. I know you are anointed. I know you are proud. You are even arrogant. You felt you are about to take over. Be done first. You realize the world has a kind of darkness that may not answer to these tongues you are speaking. You now realize there are another energy. You must excel. Hail the Lord, ye servant of the Most High God, and all ye mortals that excel in strength. So in the days they began to speak the language of the immortals. He cast the rod down. He turned to his now the king was excited. He said, hey, this guy makes sense. You know, when they employ you in your office and they give you manager, they look at you from they evaluated you physically, and somebody in the office get angry. He now sent a dagger. And at night you were dreaming and you saw something coming and you bind it and return back. And you hear that your assistant manager could not come again because he was sick. And the next day when the man come to office, he greet you. He say, good morning. You wonder why the respect came from. Because there was a weapon that he formed and sent, but he returned it back. But what if you do not know? So you may think that all of us are, everybody may not be formed and fashioned for ministry. Is that okay? But wherever you are going to go, you will need power to survive. Because power is the code of life. And it doesn't matter how small you are, it doesn't matter how big you are. You can be a big man in a small body and a small man in a big body. Because in that days, it's only those that can speak the language of power can excel in strength. When he threw the rod, as Moses was so excited, now rod has become snake. He thought the guy will be afraid. The guy called his magician, called his, you know, kings of now of those times, they are not stupid. They have pastors, they have malam, they have imams, they have idol worshipper. Everybody that can display power, they gather around them. Paraventure in the days we need it. Every king that I know serve every kind of idol. That's why you see many kings, the pastors come and greet them. They say, pray for me, idol worshiper come, they combine everything. Paraventure. And suddenly, and they too came and they told their own. Moses knew that he was out of options. At that time now, what he needed was what I was telling you now. Because when the enemy become of the same energy level like you, what do? You now understand what I call the help of God. Because that was not part of the equation. Because God promised to be with us as Emmanuel all the time, but he never promised to help us. You must be willing enough to bring yourself to a point where you can access that help of God. Because at that point, what Moses needed was for God to help him, because he has exhausted his option. He doesn't know the button to press again. And the only wisdom that God can do was to excel that is snake. And now the snake of Moses now sustained the capacity to swallow that of Pharaoh. That one now was not part of the training that Moses had. But at that moment, what happened is that it excelled. It was God that now decided to help him beyond what he knew. The same one when they cast them into that fire, they didn't know that one. That one now was the Lord excelling, and he helped them. So when the Lord intended to help a man, he helped the man to excel. Because part of the story, as I went to my village, But I came back sick. Because while they slapped me, I said I will no longer pray again there. I left there. Because after first slap, second slap, wisdom educate me that you are not in that level. Because what I was coming to contend against was an altar that was older than me and my great grandfather. So the covenant I beckon upon, I have not journeyed yonder into it yet. And for me not to be a tragedy spoken about that the man of God died, wisdom educate me, go back. And I went back to the family house, and as I wanted to sleep so that I can travel the next day, as I closed my eyes, the spirit appeared again and slapped me. What brought you here? I said, but I've left your shrine. He said, this territory belongs to me. Yeah. I could no longer sleep again, because if I close my eyes, they come. If I pray, open my eyes, they come. I have to stay awake. I say, Mommy, when are we leaving this village? I want my peace. There are many ministers that are oppressed every day. And no matter how much they fast and pray, they are being oppressed. Because they have not excelled in strength. They know power. They don't know the Holy Ghost.